Hi there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for February 2025. I'll cleanse your space and meditate on your cards. I'm going to start with the astrological forecast for the month. If you're not interested in this, have a look at the description box down below for the timestamp to where the tarot reading actually starts. But let's first have a look at the astrological events for the month. So we have a conjunction of the moon and Venus and the moon and Saturn on the same day, on the 1st of February. So with the conjunction of moon and Saturn, we have we can experience a sense of emotional isolations, feeling of loneliness, sadness, or lack of emotional fulfillment. The moon is the planet of emotions. Saturn is a planet of structure and discipline. And it would be a great time to have a look at how your structure is impacting your emotions and vice versa. It's all about emotional challenges and growing from them. Make sure that life demands are not weighing you down too much, but if they are, take a look at what you can do about it and how you can realign yourself. With the conjunction of the moon and Venus, it can bring a sense of beauty, emotional depth, financial ease, but also challenges in relationships and emotional stability. We're going to look at creativity, security, beauty, and pleasure. And emotion will come in touch with pleasure, but we might actually want to combine this with some sort of discipline, since Saturn is also dancing with the moon at the same time. The moon will also be in the sign of Pisces at this time. It is a highly intuitive sign that is literally represented by duality. We have the two fish swimming in opposite direction there. So we might actually really benefit from swimming deep into our own waters and our own subconscious. The moon will be at its closest point to Earth in Aries on the 2nd of February, which probably will reignite our energies to achieve what we want to achieve before the full moon arrives. Jupiter is coming out of retrograde in Gemini on the 4th of February, and it has been a period of introspection and reassessment with this retrograde energy. We have been reconsidering, or have been asked to reconsider past decisions and had time to reflect on our spiritual values along with our moral values. Jupiter is a planet of principles, growth, expansion, adventure, healing, good fortune, and miracles. So we can really expect to cash in properly from the introspection we've been experiencing since Jupiter went into retrograde. It's going to be a slow start, but it's going to be really bringing those energies into our present moment. The full moon will be in Leo on the 12th of February. We want to be seen, we want to celebrate, we want to embrace the unique ways we shine. This childlike wonder, like connecting to your inner child, is going to be a great thing to do during this time. And see where you can feel like a natural leader. Where do you find yourself being a natural leader? It's a time not to quit on yourself and have some friendly competition, because that can actually help us get even further than what we actually thought we were gonna get from the beginning. If we just compete friendly with people around us or good friends, not saying like compete out of the sake of competing or feeling like you're better, because this is where our egos needs to be in check, but a bit of a friendly competition goes a long way sometimes. And it also connects to that childlike energy that we might experience within during this time. Venus energy will be quite prominent in the month of February, and it's going to be at its brightest on February 16th. So we will be able to see Venus from the night sky. I think we can actually see it. We've been able to see it throughout January and going into February as well, but the energy will be quite prominent and bright. Mars retrograde is ending in Cancer on the 24th of February, so motivation will return. A period of feeling tired or exhausted, or a period of stagnation, it will end. Mars is ruling our personal energy, so it will ask us to check our own energies so it's not damaging or draining. before a new fresh period of action can actually begin. It's once again going to be a slow start, moving the retrograde energy into a direct energy. So it will actually give us some buffer time to reconnect to ourselves. What has been stalled is slowly starting to move again with this energy, and with it, it brings new awareness of our own limitations, priorities, and the ability to nurture our own within. The Sun entered Pisces on the 19th of February, so there is a time for healing, engaging in spiritual practices, creative projects, letting go of the past, and preparing for new astrological New Year's, which will begin once the Sun goes into Aries. On the 28th of February, the new moon will also begin in the sign of Pisces. So we have both the Sun and the Moon propelling us into this new month, and it's encouraging us to reflect on the importance of surrendering, to go with the flow. It might encourage us to look at where our opposing forces is in life, and how they can actually become one, to build a bridge between your opposing forces. It's not a time to check out rather than to check in and allow yourself to feel. So before we actually begin, I would like to cleanse the space with you. And you will be hearing 3 loud sounds, and it will begin now. There we go, thank you so much. So we will begin your reading for February 2025 Taurus. I want to have a look at the spirit animals, or the energies of the spirit animals that you will have throughout February 2025 Taurus. Please, Spirit, could you guide them for the highest good? Okay, we have the otter and the turtle. So it's quite playful energy with the otter. Is a lot of playfulness, so this is what you need to bear in mind. The otter is building, it's enjoying itself, it's floating around, it's just living life. So that is one of the spirit animals to have in mind for the month of February. We also have the turtle, which has quite significance with the geometric shapes that it has on the shell. It also has to do with numerology. There's 2 water signs here, so it's about going with the flow, which we said in the astrology for the month. The turtle is, it's protected by its shell, but it comes out to swim around and have a good time. It also is very connected to both the earth element and to the water element, because turtles are born on the shore and they need to get back into the water, which is connected to the healing energy and to going with the flow. So you get 2 water animals there that is important for you to, and will be your spirit animals for the month. So it's about being grounded, but also coming back into the flow and some sort of healing. Is there anything that Taurus needs to be aware of for the month of February 2025, Spirit? Could you please guide them for the highest good? What do they need to be aware of or to keep in mind throughout the month of February? Oops. Thank you so much. So we have soul ascensions. Soul ascension. Actually, since I said ascensions, I feel like there's quite a few of you that will be experiencing this. So you will be growing from within. I'm falling over my words here. That might be why you're connecting to the water element as well, because you need to be healed and cleansed before you can actually fully step into the new you. We have the divine feminine awakening, which is about connecting to your feminine side, not to the masculine side. Is connected to Aries and to Mars, which is about power and strive and moving forward. The feminine energy is about you know, connecting to your softer side, to your flowy side, to reconnecting with your feelings and accepting what's there to get into balance. And we also have the dark divine father of creation coming in here. So I feel like it's talking a lot about the balance between the feminine and the masculine there, because I feel like I really lifted Eve here, but you also have Adam. So you have this connection of the divine feminine and the divine masculine within. And since it's talking about the dark divine, you might be looking at how is that divine masculine energy in your life affecting you, and how is it affecting you negatively, and how can you bring that into balance with the divine masculine there, because I feel like that is really the energy of the month here. And it's also what we talked about astrologically, about the opposing forces of the fish, which is also a water element, but the bridge in between those two and how you can actually balance and integrate them. So that is a beautiful start. Okay, let's see here, Taurus. We are doing a Celtic cross, and we're going to have a look at the past energy. What is the energy Taurus is feeling, coming or have experienced? What is Taurus's past coming into the month of February 2025? Could you please guide them for the highest good? What do they need to be aware of? Whoop. What does Taurus need to be aware of coming into February? So we have an ending and a beginning of a cycle here. So the 10th in the tarot is a card of maximum expression. And the Wands is a source of energy, inspiration, passion, courage. So I feel like there's a lot of responsibilities and accomplishment coming that you've been gathering together, but it's starting to become a burden. So what can you actually unload before you restart the next chapter here? Look, he's struggling there to keep them all together, and if he just takes a few wands down and put them to the side, that he actually does not need to carry. You do not need to carry someone else's load. That's the energy that I'm getting from this. Really have a look at how much you're actually carrying and be aware of that. I feel a sense of overwhelm. You know, it might be a time to delegate or not actually take on so much from everyone else. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So that's the past energy. So you've been really picking up other people's energies and maybe helping them out. I'm just going to put these cards to the side here. Helping people out with their energies or the tasks that need to be done. And you've just really been a Taurus going into this, because I feel like you've just been plowing on here, if that makes sense. You've just really been going and doing and being there for everyone. All right, so what is the hopes and fears Taurus has for February? Page of Cups. So you have a hope about reconnecting to your intuition there. You got a fish in the bowl, in the cup. You got some wavy waters in the background, but you're not scared of it. You're being very close to it. So the pages are about, you know, new opportunities. And this is about new emotional habit, intuition and healing. So you have got an opportunity for healing and reconnecting to your emotions here, Taurus, which is absolutely beautiful. And it's amazing how that is actually connecting to the astrology. I'm very happy that you're getting this confirmation. So there might be a delightful surprise. You might be reconnecting with your inner child and your imagination. You might be connecting to your inner guidance and finding that through your imagination. But we really want to be grounded with this card. You can see that he has both his feet on the ground there, standing firmly, and which is also connecting to the turtle and the energy that you got. So that's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Spirit. Could you please give me the initial situation or the present moment for Taurus here? What do they need to be aware of in the month of February 2025. And you also got now 2 cards about opposing forces. So the Chariot, you need to take the reins of these 2 dueling forces that's running the Chariot. You need to know that you're in charge, and you need to be firm, knowing when to pull the reins tighter and when to loosen them and go with the flow. You also have the Lovers in the reverse, and the Lovers are also about duality. So this whole reading is about your duality and what you need to build, that you need to build a bridge in between to make all the sides of you connected, if that makes sense. Your whole reading here, Taurus, is about connecting your dual forces. It's about your divine masculine with your divine feminine. It's about being grounded and going with the flow. So the Chariot is about pulling the opposing forces pulling this chariot. So you need to be aware of when to keep the reins tighter and when to loosen the reins to go with the flow. The Lovers here is about the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And you have the mountain in the background explaining kind of that there is challenges ahead, and there's challenging in all the energies coming together, whether it's a relationship or whether there's some work with yourself, within yourself, but there's always challenges to be overcome. Since this is in the reversed, I feel like you are right in between these energies right now. You need to allow yourself to heal in order to connect to these 2 opposing forces to bring you forward. This is also the 6 and the 7, so they come right after each other. So this is kind of the energy that I feel like you're moving through right now, and the Chariot is the energy that you will be going into. You will be really being able to balance that flow of your mutual energy, if that makes sense. Could I have the crossing energy here for the Chariot and the Lovers in the reverse for Taurus, February 2025, sorry. Could I please have the energy for Taurus that is crossing this present energy? Please, Spirit, could you guide them for their highest good? Justice. So this is also about balance. So this is exactly what I said. So this is mainly a confirmation. Justice is about balancing the scales. Is also the number 11, and 11 is a master number. It's a card of cause and effects, of clarity, truth. Everyone is accountable for their own actions, which might be also from here. You kind of making sure that everyone is sorted out, and your energies through that being sorted out are being realigned with yourself. That's a wonderful, wonderful energy there, Taurus. There's a card of embracing fairness and correcting past wrongs. Is a card of karmic retribution. What you get is a direct result of your actions. And he also is holding a double-edged sword here. The swords are always double-edged, so it can be used for good and for bad. Just decide what you want. Since there's a card of karmic retribution here, you want to be fair. You want to wear that crown and make that decision from a higher perspective, if that makes sense. So be very fair with your choices there, Taurus. Wonderful. Can we have the conscious energy of Taurus, February 2025? What are they aware of? The 10 in the reversed, right? So 10s, once again, is a card of maximum expression. And there is a lot of energy going into growing this, full of, being full of joy, growing this fortune, we can say. It's a stronger foundation to build on, and it gives more stability. It's also a card about hard work and maybe unrealistic expectations. since it's in the reversed, are you sure you might be sitting in this space of, is all this work actually worth what I've been getting back? If you know what I mean. So maybe that's why you're actually going through this, because you've been balancing all these wands, not knowing what to, you made that a burden instead. So now you're actually having a look consciously as well. I feel like this is the energy that you know about this, and there's nothing new that's going to pop into your mind about it, but you're looking at if all this work that you've been putting in is actually worth the energy and matching the energy that you've been getting, putting into it. So the rewards is matching the energy that you put into it. And you're really looking at scaling back and maybe not having then unrealistic expectations on your journey here. You're looking at yourself with the lens of justice here and seeing, okay, what can I do? Thank you so much, Spirit. What is the key to the mystery here for Taurus? What is going on in their unconscious, their subconscious? Why are they not where they want to be right now? What do they need to hear from their subconscious? What do they need to hear from their subconscious, Spirit? Could you please guide Taurus for the highest good? It's a card of, Seven of Swords is a card of strategy. So this man here is stealing the sword of the opposing army so that it cannot be used against him. So it's not necessarily looked at upon stealing and them using those swords against them, but rather than making sure that the impact is not as heavy as it actually would have been if he didn't steal the sword. Seven of Swords. No, it's also a card of waiting and a higher purpose. So what you're going through here is going to lead you to your higher purpose. Being tactical, and you have been in survival mode and being in the balance of survival mode and thriving, if that makes sense. So now you're having a real look at what can actually make you thrive. Could I please have another card here with some words that Taurus needs to hear? You've been doubting in intuition. Oh, we got a few here. You've been doubting intuition. You might have had creative blocks, emotional immaturity, escapism, insecurity, and neglecting your inner child. It's funny that I mentioned the inner child earlier, isn't it? It's time to reconnect to her. There's been some imbalance, excess, disruptive energy, chaos, feeling out of control, inner healing, extremes, discord, recklessness, and hastiness. I feel like you need to really get in contact with that water and really get healing here. This last one is also in the reverse, so is showing a lack of faith, loss of hope, despair, disconnection, depression, impotence, despondent, and negativity. So I feel like these are all energies that you're coming out of, that's been going on in your subconscious, that you actually overcoming, because they are also in the reversed. They will go into the upright and you will be reconnected and feeling a sense of connectedness, working through this energy throughout the month of February. Wonderful. Okay, can I have a little look inside Taurus's mind here? What is your attitude towards February? Wow. Okay, death in the reverse. So death is not necessarily a bad card. It's about death of the old and beginning of the new. So something old needs to die before something new can actually come in. And since it's in the reverse, it might be somewhat delayed. You might not be ready to be doing that right now. Hoping that it won't happen could be another one. But the death card is inherently good. It's allowing one part, an old part of yourself that is no longer serving you, to be dying off and to be regrown into this flower, because this flower needs to wither and mold down, and you know, it will feed other flowers growing up from there, if that makes sense. We have 2 5s here, so I don't know if 5 is a number that you're seeing a lot at this time. You also have 2 10s. So 10, 10, 2 5s is also 10, so number 3 could also be a number that you're seeing a lot, but we have the Hierophant here. And it's a card of traditions, conformity, moral and ethics. What's tried and true is valued, and it's not time to stray away from the path that you've been trying and working on for a long period of time. You know what works and what doesn't, and you need to connect to that energy. There might be a time to pursue some new knowledge or a spiritual guide, maybe even. Finding belonging with people who actually accepts the true you for who you are. And also it's a card about trusting your inner wisdom over external dogma and control. You need to free yourself and pursue a new approach to something that you can connect to what you've worked with before, if that makes sense. And I feel like the 5 of Cups here, he's crying over these cups that's spilt over. He's also talking about the bridge there. Okay, he's crying and mourning these cups that's fallen over, and he can't see the cups behind him. But I feel like this is an energy that you're coming out of. It's a card of change and possibility, but maybe it is just in the reverse right now because of death here. Maybe that's why the Hierophant is trying to tell you that there might need to be a new approach to something. And since the bridge is there, I feel like there's a bridge between your masculine and feminine that needs to be connected, and you need to listen to your inner guidance here, and you have hopes for that yourself, that you will connect to it and to your intuition. But in order to connect to your intuition, you need to be true to yourself, and that's what I feel like the Hierophant is also talking about here. Wonderful. How is the environment affecting you right now, Taurus? People around you, Knight of Cups. So you might have some actually inspiring people around you that you've connected to. The Knights are like rebellious youths. They throw themselves into new things. He is also covered in fish here. Well, he has fish. He's not covered in fish, but he has fish on his clothing there, and ready to ride over the stream with confidence. So the energies around you is asking you to actually go across that river of feelings. And the Knight of Cups is a card about, romance, charm, connecting to the beauty around you. And yeah, that's really what I'm getting right now. Connecting to the beauty around you. So that might be the energy around you, that you're connecting to the beauty of the world again, and you start seeing this duality, what's going on. It doesn't not necessarily need to be black and white. It can be a shade of grey in between, if that makes sense. Your environment is also asking you to get in touch with your emotions and with your intuition. So maybe that's where this hope is actually coming from, that's influencing your hopes and the fears for the month, and where you're actually heading. Is a wonderful energy, that. Oh, I'm very happy for you, Taurus. It might not be easy in the beginning. Balancing duality is never easy, but just integrating with it, with both sides. Don't be scared of the dark. Don't be overly excited about the light. Just kind of try and integrate those two with each other. I'm getting very light feeling here. I feel like the people around you or the environment around you is really uplifting right now, and I want you to take this opportunity to actually bring this forward. I feel very content in my heart looking at this card, so I'm very happy for you, Taurus. I'm very happy for you to have that energy around you. What is the short-term outcome for Taurus? Balance again. Twos are always a card of balance. So this man is standing on this castle that he's built. and he's holding the world in his hands, ready to take on a new creative project. The twos are about balance and patience, and the short-term outcome is about planning and taking the first few steps and discovering a new vision and making that into a reality. It's a planning stage. He has the materials to make the dream come true, and he has all the elements in the background. You got the water, you got the woods, and you got the mountains ready to be climbed in the background there. So that is a very good short-term outcome there for you. It is a balanced life, and you're ready to take on new creative projects, and you will regain like everyday willpower. Find that source of energy within you, inspiration, passion, and actually courage to take on a new project. This is beautiful. Thank you so much. What is the long-term outcome from Taurus for the energies of February 2025? Long-term outcomes is usually months or maybe even up to a year. Oop. So you got another 5 here. So 5, 5, 5. It's a card. 5s are a number of change. So you got the 5 of swords here. The swords are double-sided, so they can be used for good and for bad. And it's also a card of change, about possibility. There's saying here that this card is, win at all costs, no matter if people are walking away from him. But he won. But since this is in the reversed, I feel like what this card is actually trying to say is that you're seeking resolution. That there will be a victory, but it might actually not be at all cost. You might be actually balancing. I feel like the word balance is flowing through here. You're balancing through what needs to be done. It's not a win at all costs, but actually like you're looking at yourself and seeing, where is this important in my life? Where can I apply this in my life, if that makes sense? So that is a long-term outcome. So you might be a bit more diplomatic in your pursuits, and even a bit more aware of how other people are feeling. The mind is very sharp. I feel like that is quite a balanced card. Could I please have another card describing the 5 of swords here for the long-term outcome for Taurus? Could you please guide them for the highest good? What do they need to be aware of? What do they need to be aware of? Spirit. Oops. So what's coming out here is basically what I've been talking about. This is what you're coming from. So it says here, financial loss, poverty, lack mindset, isolation, shut out in the cold, worry, hardship, adversity, persistence of spiritual poverty. I feel like that is what it's trying to say here, is that what you moving away from, that this might have been the outcome if you didn't connect to this balance within. So this is not actually active, but you might need to hear it in order to actually reconnect with yourself. These cards are saying what I feel like this 5 of Swords is actually saying. You have choices and you decide what to actually do with what. Multitasking, decisions, choices, weighing up options, and multiple priorities. So this is what I'm feeling, is like you choose to use the sword from a place of justice. You're reconnecting with justice for the long term here. And that's what you're learning throughout this month of February. It's also saying about spiritual wisdom, religious belief, traditions, convention, conformity, education, knowledge, and belief system. So you got the Hierophant moving on into your long-term future as well. So you might actually be picking up on some new learning here, or decide to join a course or reconnect with something within yourself that you know is time to reconnect with. And I feel really light about this balance card as well. There's a 2 of coins here. It's also about balance. So you will bring this balance into your long-term energy here. Wonderful. Is there any messages for Taurus that they need to hear in the month of February 2025? Is there anything else Taurus needs to hear that they've not been aware of? Okay, I'll take this instead. What else do Taurus need to hear that I've not covered in this reading? I feel like your reading's been pretty clear about what I wanted to say. I feel like there's always good note to end on clear cards, so you can get the confirmation from the cards coming up in the end as well, and not only me. Get grounded. That's another confirmation from the reading. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature, so get grounded and balance, and allow that emotional energy to flow through you, but stay grounded while doing it. Thank you so much. Is there anything else Taurus needs to hear? Okay. Is there anything Taurus needs to hear that I've not covered yet for the reading of February 2025? Oops. Truth. Look at your truths around you. Align yourself. Moon is rising. So the rising of emotions starts with truth, and reconnecting with your intuition is also about truth, being honest with yourself. We have self-regulation, and you also got a little Taurus here going on at the same time with a rainbow and the moon. So the moon is up fully, and self-regulation. So make sure that you are not overworked in any way, shape or form. And I didn't actually look at this card, but it says to take a break. So if you are overworked, make sure that you actually take a break and reconnect with yourself. Thank you so much, Taurus, for being here for this reading for February 2025. I'm so truly grateful for your wonderful energy. Please leave a comment and a like if anything in this reading resonated with you. And hopefully I see you in March. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye.